The people of Chilubi Island in the Northern Province got to the polls to elect a Member of Parliament on 13 February 2020. The parliamentary by-election in Chilubi has been necessitated following the death of Rosalia Fundanga from the PF. 5 political parties, namely NDC, UPND, PF, PSC, and UPPZ, are jostling for the vacant seat. Opposition political parties taking part in the by-election have complained of unfair playing field in the race. The opposition have accused the governing PF of corruption and rampant vote buying. Soon after the filing in of nominations, the ruling PF booked all the ferries at entry points to Chilubi Island, leaving the opposition stranded. The opposition have further complained of the exorbitant price being charged by the Zambian Postal Services to ferry their vehicles for mobilization in Chilubi district. Zampos is demanding for 8,000 kwacha per vehicle for the use of the ferry. The opposition NDC had since filed in an official complaint to the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, to look into the alleged unfair advantage by the ruling Patriotic Front, and the ECZ responded in NDC's favor.
In the Chilubi by-elections, I think the rampant corruption is there for everybody to see. We've been seeing the videos, we've been seeing the pictures, and I think the whole country has seen what is going on in Chilubi. You know, we've been calling upon the ECZ to act. You know, I'm sure you saw that last time after we went ahead, wrote a letter to the ECZ, and also followed it up. They did come through for the ferry, you know, in terms of trying to look at the way forward, you know, but sadly with that, in as much as the ECZ came through for the opposition, what happened is that they increased the amount of the ferry from 700 kwacha to 8,500. So just to transport your vehicle from the Samfia Harbour, you need to pay 8,700 kwacha, meaning that a round trip to and from the island is about 16,000. 2 vehicles comes already to about 32,000. That's like buying a Corolla just to transport 2 vehicles. So all these are electoral malpractices, because this has not been happening all along. It's just happening during the election. And also in terms of the millimil, you know, in terms of the money, in terms of all this that is happening, you know, it's very, very unprecedented that such a thing can happen, you know, in the clear eyes, you know, of the people to see. You know, it's really so sad that each and every by-election is bringing with it, you know, all different kinds of corruption. Is actually getting worse and worse and worse. And right now I can safely say, or sadly say, that the opposition's movement have been curtailed on the island, because the PF have put in so much measures just to ensure that the opposition do not move. You know, the issue of the ferry, the issue of the boats, you know, being hired by the PF. Even when somebody is not moving, they'll just say, we cannot get you to the other side because this boat has been hired. So all those are things which I think we're even getting tired of complaining, and they'll do whatever it is they want to do. But for me, I just like to urge the people of Chilubi to ensure that they vote for the right candidate. It's not about the money, it's not about the millimil, it's not about all these things that the PF are taking to the ground, as well as ambulances that you have seen. You know, there were no medicines in Chilubi in the hospitals. Now they've taken medicines to the hospitals. So it's not about all those things. They know how the Patriotic Front has been treating them and what they have not had all this time. So they should not be compelled by what they're seeing right now and be tempted to vote for the Patriotic Front.
Later on, the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit moved in the district to dispute minimum on pretext that they were responding to the hunger situation in the area.
Mkwai na tumfane mkwai twamuleka papambo okutonsera kopano na tumfane mkwai alawatira wana bankashi bakeneka papa kalubalalai umfeni mkwai infibale pela wa minister chilangiriro fye pampendwe inonwe ili kuno ubunga bale pela chilangiriro fye lero chilanganda wali abapoka chonse chilanganda mwala konkanya pokupoka ubungo buli kuno bonse bule mukwana chilanganda mpaka oyu mwenshi wa machi ero tukale ko kumupela so mwisaka mana iro kutampelero kuya kuntanshi mwala sala mwapoka kuli wa MP hapa mrefu abapele chonse no matatu bakwanishe bakansi.
After complaints from the opposition, the DMMU, through a press statement, indicated that they can't stop distributing relief food on account of the by-elections. It is on this background that both the opposition UPND and NDC urged the ECZ to address this anomaly and threatened to pull out of the election. It is on this background that both the opposition UPND and NDC urged the ECZ to address this anomaly and threatened to pull out of the Chilubi parliamentary by-election. The two parties said this at a joint press briefing held in Lusaka, addressed by NDC spokespersons Wa Imboera and UPND chairperson for elections, Galin Kombo.
Postal services to show us proof of what PF paid them, because we suspect that they just colluded. Once the NDC wrote that letter to the ECZ, the ECZ acknowledged receipt of that letter and did respond to the NDC, the response of which I think is in public domain. I think that my colleague here will talk a little about that to correct the public perception that ECZ actually acted on it. As a matter of fact, we learned with dismay yesterday, after we had a meeting with the ECZ, that they actually just acknowledged they did not find any solution to the matter. So while public thinks that that matter was resolved, it should be understood that PF have got exclusive access to that particular ferry. What that means is that we, the opposition, have had difficulties to move our vehicles onto the island. They are marooned in Sanfia, and it has been deliberate. The ECZ acknowledges that, according to the meeting of yesterday, that was a malpractice. And we are not expecting anything less than them acting on it, and not just lip service, but to act on the issue of PF having exclusive rights to the post boat. Secondly, it should be understood that it is public knowledge now that all efforts that we have made to have access into the island have been met with resistance from the police and the PF working together. As I'm speaking to you now, we resorted to use motorcycles in Chilubi, and the atmosphere, as at 2 days ago, was not favoring the PF, it was favoring the opposition. So what they did is that they now decided to impound the motorcycles that are on the island that we were using on account of the fact that they do not have road fitness. When we finished with that, we got bicycles. 2 days ago, maybe 3, when we docked at the island, the PF again, working with the police, confiscate our bicycles. They don't only confiscate our bicycles, they vandalize them. And up to this point in time, we are still finding out from the police and the PF why they've taken our bicycles. What we learned from the ECZ yesterday is that there was a complaint from one individual from PF that we were using those bicycles to bribe people with food. Bicycle is a mode of transport. It is also public knowledge that the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit has been helping Patriotic Front to get votes using minimum, to bribe voters with minimum. The ECZ yesterday, and this is the height of our story today, the ECZ during our meeting did confirm and confess that they had written a letter to the DMMU headed by Mr. Chanda Kawa to indicate to them that the act of distributing minimum in an election amounts to electoral malpractice. In Zambia, and not the police. The police have power from the ECZ, and the ECZ are scared to perform their function. So scared that when we went to complain and indicated to them that we're giving them this ultimatum today, they claimed that according to the Electoral Act, all action must be instigated through the District Conflict Management Committee, which should be escalated to the National Conflict Management Committee, a committee which does not exist. And we have 10 days or 11 days before the campaigns finish, because on the 12th or 13th day will be the voting day. There is no election, countrymen, in Chilubi. There is just war. There is a fight there, a dog fight. And we from this end are tired of losing lives. We smell blood in Chilubi. And we have said to the ECZ that if you do not take charge of these elections, we will have no option. Because from where we stand and sit here, we value life more than winning an election. And that is the message we sent to the ECZ. That one life lost is one life too many. We value life more than winning an election. Everything in Chilubi is suggesting that PF have fallen out of favor. That's what is suggested. And again, there has been a song that has been sung by PF that where the UPND or opposition stronghold, when they have elections, there is violence. They have now admitted that Chilubi is our stronghold as the opposition. Because they stood on the pedestal and said, in the area where they think they were strong, elections go violent free. Milenge was not the case. We all know what happened in Milenge. Our people were brutalized. Shiwangandu, is it Shiwangandu? Yes. In Muchinga, where up to now our people are appearing in court. Our vehicle has been held as a surety in order to decapitate us. So, for now, I think that PF have gone into an extreme gear, desperately in need of collecting a win.
First and foremost, as you heard from Honorable Nkombo, that was a joint statement. So each and everything that he has said is definitely a statement from the NDC as well. You know, we're very, very disappointed with what has been happening in Chilubi. You know, and from the point of the NDC, we were actually saying yesterday with our president to say, if you look at the corruption that went through on in Ron, it was one of the unprecedented ever, you know, kind of corruptions. But if you go to Chilubi right now, Chilubi I think is 3 times more, you know. DMMU has descended on Chilubi and they are distributing midi meal. I think Smart Eagles just 2 days ago had it live. They were streaming live from Chilubi when they were distributing that. So you can see that even that shame of doing wrong things has left the PF, you know. They are doing things in broad daylight. If you look at the issues of the ferry, the transport, them making sure that the opposition is unable to move, all that is just too shameless. And for me, even the ECZ, the acronyms ECZ to me no longer mean Electoral Commission of Zambia. To me, it's Electoral Confusion of Zambia. Yes. Because what the ECZ is doing is nothing but confusion. So I'd like to urge the Electoral Confusion of Zambia to get back to their original mandate and do that which they are mandated to do, and that is hold free, fair, and credible elections. The Commission, as it is right now, don't have the capacity to hold credible elections because they are too scared, you know. They are too intimidated by the PF. Like Honorable Nkombo said, when we went there, I think the first time when we reported as NDC, for example, They brought up the whole issue of the procedure, starting with the district resolution management committee, which they even know is dysfunctional. Because if them, as ECZ at national level, are unable to do anything, what of the district committee? But anyway, we still went ahead and tried to engage the so-called district committee. And these are the ones, again, the PF have put out, because they don't even recognize them. Because like we have said, if the PF is not scared of ECZ at the national level, what is a district committee? So I would like to urge the people of Zambia to say elections are our business, all of us, you know, and one life lost, like Honorable said, is one life too many. So if the ECZ feel that they really want to win, rather the PF, they really want to win these elections at all costs, we told them even in yesterday's meeting that we're only giving them 3 days ultimatum. If they're not going to act on this, UPND and NDC, we're going to pull out of these elections. Yes. Because it's better lives are preserved than people are killed over a simple election. In other countries, you find that even voters' cards, they don't even have faces. I go to the UK right now. A voter's card does not even have a person's portrait. You get the point? Because election is just a competition of ideas. It's a way of people just voting for their servants to do their work. But in Zambia, elections are a do or die thing. Elections in Zambia have become 1,000 ways to die. If some of you watch that program on TV, now elections in Zambia are 1,000 ways to die. Because every time there's an election, somebody has to die. And we won't accept that.
However, the PF has denied engaging in any form of electoral malpractices. The opposition have also complained of violence. The UPN and NDC have also accused the PF of ferrying cadres from Lusaka and Copperbelt to victimize residents. A check at the district shows that the opposition political parties are nowhere to be seen, and campaigns in the area are mainly being conducted by the ruling PF, a situation that has raised concern by many electoral stakeholders.
You know, UPND are liars. And how do I, from their top leadership to the bottom, they are liars. And I'm glad that the people of Zambia have realized that they are dealing with the people who are not truthful. And I can attest to their lying. Example is ZNBC sold? Has Zafiko been sold? Has the Lusaka International Airport been sold? Has ZESCO been sold? I can cite so many examples. No, but from me, the way I understand them, because they always want to get sympathy from people. UPND is a party, I witnessed it in Kaoma, where they shot their own cadre in the crossfire and blamed it on PF. I can cite another example of Mapenzi Chiburu, who was part of them demonstrating in Chawama. They shot her themselves and blamed it on the police. These people are not truthful, and I have no doubt, even in the Chilubi incident, because it's them who have been caught. In fact, it's not only that one person was caught earlier. I'm sure you are aware that there are 3 more people who have been caught with offensive weapons. And since they have been exposed, I can't be surprised if they've gotten their own people to break their own vehicles, to state-manage violence, so that they get sympathy. So, for me, I brush it aside. They are liars. That's a lie. No PF can beat them. We are not a violent party.
It is not yet known if the opposition have officially written to the chief electoral officer to officially complain of electoral malpractice, as most of their campaign managers are given scant information, while others, by press time, had either their phones switched off or unanswered. Efforts to get the chief electoral officer proved futile, as he was reportedly to be attending a meeting in Mansa. Chilubi district has over 49,000 registered voters. Reporting from Chilubi Island for Cooperative News, I'm Kayombo.